It was a resting place for people traveling from New York to Florida, the African American that didn't have any place to stay. So this was like a dropping off point from New York to Florida en route on Highway 17 because that was the main artery at the time.
My understanding is that Mr. Wilder was ordered to perform work to secure the building that the county doesn't believe he's done satisfactorily. However, there's no other reason from a health and safety standpoint that we've been able to discern to take the building down.
It's easy to see 2,000 to 3,000 people down here gathering, walking from one end of the beach to the other end, eating soul food, dancing, drinking, having a good time.
This building is one of the centerpieces of historic Mosquito Beach, which, as everyone in Charleston knows who was alive when it was in operation, is a very important place for the African American community in the Low Country. It's a historically significant building not for its architecture, but because of its social significance and its role in that community's life. Not just on Folly, on most of the beaches in Charleston, African Americans were relegated to several small beaches that you can't even really call Mosquito Beach a beach, it's just on the marsh. And this was one of the few places in town that an African American coming through Charleston could actually stay, the hotel that's currently being proposed for demolition. And really Mosquito Beach was a centerpiece of the cultural landscape of African American culture in the Low Country. There was music, there was all kinds of activity. It was a place where people went to have a good time, and it's important because it was a very important place for so many people during a very hard time. Every time you lose a historic resource, it's a tragedy because it's irreplaceable. We can't make more history tomorrow, and we cannot create more buildings from this era. The ones that we have, we need to prize, and we need to learn the lessons that they tell us. Just recently, there was a new zoning overlay created for Soul Agree, which is the community that Mosquito Beach and this hotel are a part of. This new zoning overlay, we believe, is a model for other African American settlement communities in the area. It effectively protects the community by codifying land use patterns and other things that define the use of this land and this place. And Mosquito Beach was not only included in that zoning overlay for protection, it was also identified in a survey that the county did last year as a historic building, and yet their building department is trying to tear it down. So you have the county planning department doing excellent historic preservation work, trying to preserve this community, trying to save this place, and the county building department trying to tear it down for no reason we can discern. That I would do if I were you, I would do two things. I would go out and I would actually look at the building, and you tell me if you think this building needs to come down. I don't think a reasonable person would think it's a danger to anyone, and to my knowledge, no one from the community has complained about it. This is a unilateral action by the county. And secondly, I bet that if you asked your viewers to send in images of buildings that should be torn down in Charleston County or the city of Charleston, you would find dozens of superior candidates to this building.
Many of the good days are. It's just that right now it's in kind of need of repair. But Mosquito Beach been there all the time, but it's just that everybody was going to Folly Beach. You know, the black folk knew about Mosquito Beach, but everybody was going to Folly Beach and Sullivan Island and Isle of the Palm. It'll be the last of its kind. You would never see a building like this before. There were many buildings like this along the 17 corridor, all down in Red Top area, in the West Asia area, mostly in the black community. But you know, at the time, our community was being shunned because, you know, we was like existing but not existing, you know. But we've been here all the time. And my uncle put up everybody in this building there just about if they had money, if they didn't have money. Lots of memory, yes. One part of the county is making Mosquito Beach a historical district. The whole, from this end all the way down to the other end of Mosquito Beach, it's about a quarter of a mile long. And they're going to make the whole Mosquito Beach historical, the planning and zoning, because we got an overlay going on right now. Mosquito Beach, Packman Seafood, and we got the Seaside Former Lodge up the street. All that's going to be already designated as a historical era. So why is the building inspector tell me I got to tear the building down? And that's part of county government. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Anything over 50 years old can be preserved. The building is at 62, it's about 55 or 56 or maybe 57 years old. I haven't calculated yet. So I've seen buildings downtown Charleston, the roof is just there, everything else is down. So why This building done survived Hugo, it survived Floyd, it survived Irma, and what's the other, Matthews, and it's still standing, you can see.
Yep.
It's not leaning or anything.